Welcome, everyone, as we set out to explore the world of international monetary system. The international monetary system, that is. I'm James Bird, and I appreciate your time today. Let's look at this. The international monetary system is integral to global economics, influencing everything from exchange rates to international trade, that is. Today, however, we will be delving into its complexities and history. Follow that. The emphasis here is on the international monetary system and how it shapes economic policies and global interactions. It's the big machine. Understanding it equips us to make informed decisions in a rapidly changing world. As we proceed, we'll discuss historical milestones and key elements that define the system, setting the stage for our deeper dive into specific policies and their impacts. Feel free, however, to jot down questions or thoughts. We'll have time for discussion a little later. Let's get started. Abstract. We're talking about historical facts on global monetary system, gold standards, exchange rates, balance of payments, capital mobility, IMF policies, and their impact on the totality of world economics. Let's smile with that. Now we're just talking about a paper written back in 2011 by James Bird, an abstract, that is. So today we'll dive into our overview of the global monetary system and how it stood back then, 2011, up to that point. So we knew, research paper that is. First, let's set the stage with some historical facts. We explore elements like gold and exchange rates, gold standard and exchange rates, which have played pivotal roles in shaping our economic landscape. These components are not just relics of the past, but continue to influence our world today. We'll also touch on balance of payments and capital mobility. That's balance of payments and capital mobility. Both are somewhat crucial in understanding how money flows across borders, that is, and impacts economies globally. To be clear, that's economies globally. Finally, we'll look at IMF policies. These policies have been central in managing international monetary cooperation. They affect not just individual economic economies, but also global financial stability. It's where equilibrium comes in again. As we move forward, think about how these historical and policy elements intertwine to influence the way we engage with world economics today. Keywords here: exchange, a pegged exchange rate, that is pegged exchange rate, floating exchange rate, fixed exchange rate, gold standard, the Bretton Woods system, IMF competitive devaluation, devaluation, competitive devaluation, and of course, IMF. Let's take a moment to focus on some key terms in the international monetary system. Keywords form the foundation of our discussion. That is, first, let's consider the peg exchange rate. This is when a country's currency value is tied to another major currency or a basket of currencies, providing stability. In contrast, a floating exchange rate allows the currency's value to fluctuate based on market forces without direct government or central bank intervention. It's more liberal. It's more flexible, but can be more volatile. Let's say the stock as opposed to a million. Thirdly, we have the fixed exchange rate, which is similar to peg rates, but involve more stringent adherence to maintaining the currency's value against another currency or a commodity like gold, to set standard, keeping it even. Let's not forget the gold standard, which was a system where currency value was directly linked to gold, and the historical Bretton Woods system, which established institutions like the IMF to oversee global financial stability, maintain equilibrium, that is. Lastly, competitive devaluations. Devaluations refer to countries intentionally devaluing their currency to boost exports by making them cheaper on the international market. In marketing, that's called low price leader. These terms will become clear as we delve into their historical and practical application in the upcoming slides. Historical developments of the gold standard. Let's dive into the historical development of the gold standard. In the 16th century, again, the 16th century, England began using gold and silver as currency. Again, England began using gold and silver as currency. That's as early as the 16th century. This marked a significant shift towards a more standardized economic system. St. Augustine, however, the gold standard was abandoned in 1914, primarily due to the pressures of World War One. The conflict led to inflation and devaluation, which significantly challenged the stability of this system. One key factor I might add in the demise of the gold standard was competitive, competitive currency manipulations by countries trying to gain economic advantages. This ultimately undermined the system's reliability. As we move forward, consider how these historical shifts paved the way for a more modern system. Notice that the abandonment of the gold standard and the subsequent developments influenced future economic frameworks, including Bretton Woods system, which we'll touch on next. That is the Bretton Woods system. floating versus fixed rates. Let's delve into the fascinating world of exchange rates, focusing on floating versus fixed rates. The Bretton Woods system, established post World War II, was pivotal in shaping global finance. That is global finance. It created the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank with a fixed rate system pegged to the US dollar and gold again. It created the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank with a fixed rate system pegged to the US dollar and gold. This pivotal, this provided stability in international trade, but has its limitations. On the other hand, global exchange rates are determined by market forces, that is, offering more flexibility. They are just based on supply and demand dynamics, which can be beneficial for adapting to economic changes, but might introduce volatility. That oil pump would be the volatility. Consider how different these systems are, and how each has its pros and cons in maintaining economic balance. And we smooth on out of this transition into understanding these differences is crucial as we explore the balance of payments next. Talk about balance of payments. Balance of payments equation. Let's delve into the balance of payments equation, which is crucial for understanding global trade dynamics. We're talking about 2011 now. At its core, the equation is simple. Exports minus imports, represented as BT equals X minus IM. A positive balance of trade or trade surplus occurs when exports exceed imports. That is, this supplies this surplus that is can be beneficial for a country's economy, boosting growth and increasing national income. That's when this occurs. Export exceeds import. It's a positive balance of trade or trade surplus. You're putting out more than you're bringing in. This surplus can be beneficial for a country's economy, boosting growth and increasing national income again. Can you think of a country with a consistent trade balance? Think of one. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, plays a pivotal role when countries face trade deficits. IMF, they offer short-term loans to help stabilize economies, ensuring that countries can continue to engage in international trade effectively and stay on top of the equation at the equal more than the bottom of the equation. Usually, understanding these dynamics help us appreciate the interconnectedness of global economics and the importance of maintaining a balanced trade relationship, either be partial or impartial, by explicit trade agreements. Depends on the person. Perfect capital mobility, what we're talking about today. Today we're diving into the concept of perfect capital mobility. This means that capital can move freely across international borders without restriction. Now, why does this matter? Well, the Mundell-Fleming model gives us some insights on this. It tells us that foreign interest rates have a direct impact on our currency value and our economic output. As global investments patterns shift, our domestic economy is not isolated. It responds and adjusts to these changes as well. This interconnectedness can bring opportunities, but also challenges, especially when foreign economies experience volatility. It's important to think about how these shifts might affect local businesses and the economy as a whole. In our next slide, we explore how the International Monetary Fund's policy play a role in managing these dynamics. Subscribe now, I can say. Please subscribe. Moving right along. Let's explore the effects of IMF policies. The International Monetary Fund plays a crucial role in managing currency exchange and influencing domestic output and, again, trade. One day, one of the key policies involves reducing government spending. This might sound challenging, but it's designed to help minimize poverty and stabilize economies in the long run. And again, we're talking 2011, this paper, folks. Okay, making eye contact. Also, let us remember it's important to recognize that while these policies can be difficult in short term, they lay the groundwork for sustainable economic growth. As we delve, as we delve into the next section, you'll see how these efforts connect with the broader goals of reducing poverty and stabilizing economies. Conclusion. We'll begin with a beneficial eye contact as we wrap up. Let's reflect on the significant roles of the IMF and World Bank, closely related. These institutions are pivotal in managing infl- inflation and reducing poverty. Their, their policies often bring immediate challenges but are essential for achieving long-term economic stability and growth. It's important to also recognize that while these measures might seem difficult at first, they lay the groundwork for a healthier economy in the future. I'm sure that in the end, the benefits of their interventions far outweigh the initial hardships and start scaling up after re-engineering the framework. ecosystem. And I want to thank you as we move on to the next slide. We want to conclude with a warm smile and a nod. And we have supporting references here: Heal, Sorotis, Ursula, Alderlin, and of course Wikipedia. And again, subscribe to my channel. Supporting sources for our discussion on the roles of IMF and the World Bank were, again, let's turn our attention to the sources to strengthen our analysis of the roles played by the IMF and the World Bank. These references provide a solid foundation of knowledge and support the claims we've discussed thus far. Okay, with HEAL 2011 offers a comprehensive overview of mechanisms that drive international economic policies. Sarantis, 1986, examines the impact of monetary policies on global economy. Moving on down to Herscher, 2009, and Adilin, 2009 as well. 2009 as well provided critical perspectives that deepen our understanding of long-term benefits and challenges tied to IMF policies. In addition, Wikipedia 2011 has been cited to provide a general and up-to-date context related to global economics. It's essential to emphasize the importance of verifying information through reliable sources. That is, remember this: to maintain a balanced and engaging tone throughout this discussion. And I hope that you enjoyed that. We conclude our presentation here, and I want to thank you for your attention and looking forward to wishing you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.